What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. video. We will be discussing Season 7's penultimate episode before next week's two-parter finale, and we will also be previewing the finale at the end of the video. So grab some popcorn, subscribe with notifications on, drop a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and let's dive in. So Simmons has been captured, the Zephyr has been stolen, and Daisy's mother killed once more. And we pick up right as the Zephyr goes missing, as Sousa is very confused how radar actually works with the Zephyr going missing. Cora is now at the lighthouse as Daisy is totally fuming as she goes all Guantanamo Bay on Cora, and Cora says she wants to actually help and saves lives and become an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. in parallel to her sister, who actually left Rising Tide to become one of S.H.I.E.L.D's best agents, which is pretty cool there. Now, Malik is actually 50,000 feet above Earth, but last week we saw Deke stuck on the ship, and now he is doing his best Die Hard impression. He consistently proves that he is the best character in the show for me, so stupidly hilarious, but he has to go face to face with Garrett as he says yippee-ki-yay, a reference there as well to Die Hard, one of the greatest Christmas movies ever made. Now Mac and Daisy finally realise that their whole moves have been predictable, and they find Cora, whose actual surrender very, very fishy. Absolutely is 100% a trap, and yet again the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fall for it once more. Cora says she wants to reduce the suffering and says how Malik has the time device that they can see and use it to see into the future. Now Cora drops the bombshell that this is now a new timeline as there are so many changes, and implores that S.H.I.E.L.D. can make this a brand new day. Yes, this is a new timeline separate to the MCU Endgame's timeline and the timeline that we've had throughout the so far 7 seasons. I don't think she is serious, as she is still indoctrinated and thinks that S.H.I.E.L.D. are actually an assassination squad. She wants to kill 30 people in a pre-crime Minority Report situation, or more like Project Insight as Coulson actually says. But only the sister chat can actually try and stop this, but it doesn't. Cora thinks her thinking and Daisy's thinking can unite together to make a better world. Cora's hardcore thinking is sort of how Daisy used to be, as Malik uses the Chronicom device to look into Simmons' memories, but of course Diane there is in her neck, so the memory of Fitz's location is not actually there, and more on that in a bit. In more Die Hard references, Deke is brought in to use as leverage against Simmons, and I do wonder why they could not actually see the thing in her neck. I would expect that they would scan her and see it. But Daisy is going off with Cora on a rogue mission, or at least it seemed that way, but we do have Daisy going on a rogue mission, and Cora there is trapped back at the lighthouse there, and this all is so obviously a trap, but Daisy is going off with Sousa to try and actually, break the entirety of the predictions. They're going against that. But then again, the Sybil predictor machine would probably predict that. And we predict that. Yeah, it gets a bit messy there. Now, of course, as well, Sybil probably would have thought that Daisy would protect her sister and not go after Simmons. But her sister is just awful, and she doesn't stay. Presumably she's not that close to her sister due to, well, this not being the true timeline. Now, of course, as well, this also made me realise that Daisy's never flown a Quinjet, and it's weird that everyone else has but her, but she doesn't again this time. May says that she's seen the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. go rogue, as it's referenced that they're being unpredictable, as everything is predictable. The chemistry between Coulson and May is still superb, and I am really going to miss this show when it ends. Falcon and Winter Soldier, as well as WandaVision, need to hurry the hell up. Now Deke is actually resistant to Malik as he conveniently sees a Diane light up on Simmons' neck. Bit of a design flaw there if you ask me. Now May, Mac and Sousa go on one hell of a suicide mission, and the CGI just looks so good and makes me wonder where this show could have gone if it had the full Marvel Studios support. As May meets Cora once again, Cora turns the screw on May by mentioning someone called Katya Belyakov, an Inhuman who was a young child who could not control her powers, and May ended up actually, that is a reference to the Beirut job, and that's what they were actually talking about during the whole Inhuman storyline a couple of seasons ago. Now, Sybil is actually able to take control of the lighthouse, as Cora was essentially a Trojan horse, and she used her powers to turn off the systems and sort of reset it. Now, Coulson, it turns out, can actually read the Chronicom language, a callback to when he could read Kree in the early days of the show. Now, Daisy and Mac are actually trying to restore the timeline, as they still believe it exists, but I hope we get some sort of final MCU crossover at the end. Could you imagine if they actually go back to the snap, which was referenced briefly 2 seasons ago, but everyone gets dusted except from Daisy, leading her to make a Secret Warriors TV show? I can hope. Now, they discussed Daisy and Sousa, which was a sweet and touching moment. It's nice to see Mac not being so serious all the time, because to be honest, I like Mac, but the problem is, he just is a bit serious, and I got some flack a couple of episodes ago for saying I'm not really a fan of him, but I did really like him here. Now, Simmons has her mind infiltrated by Malik, as we see a similar thing as last time, as Coulson says Brand New Day, which is the episode title, but I'm not sure if that is a reference to the Brand New Day comic, where Spider-Man's history was reset for no good damn reason, as the Inhumans are let out of prison, and, well, the problem is, so is Cora. Coulson says now that Malik is saving the world from the worst of everyone, as Cora goes full psycho and kills an agent called Durant. Yo-Yo wants to know who the first name on the list is, and boy, that is a doozy. It is none other than the Chad himself, Grant Ward. He's only a child in the 80s, but his death would leave so much pain to never have actually happened. However, she mentions that without Garrett, Ward would have been even worse, but I'm not sure how much worse he could actually have been. Mac goes full father and asks Susan, "What are your intentions with my daughter?" with Daisy, and tells her how that she has been hurt in the past. Yes, absolutely countless times, but this was another touching moment as Mac drops Daisy's superhero name and calls him the Man Out of Time. A nice reference to Captain America, as they laugh at Daisy's superhero name, which is ridiculous to Sousa because he is pre-superheroes. We flash back to Simmons and Enoch as they create Diana, and Diana is a bit different to what it would have been. Fitz is working on a time machine, as Fitz seems angry, stressed, and or at least Simmons wants to rush back and fix everything, but Fitz doesn't want to rush back. He wants to spend their life together, and they never truly have had more than just 6 months together, or at least to live a true life. And, well, Fitz is taking a book or a page out of the book of May and Coulson and wanting to spend some time together there. And the fact he's barely been in the final season is just an absolute shame. It's alluded that Fitz is dying, or at least one of them are dying, and May drops a truth bomb on Cora as she goes to show her mother's body and how she died protecting Daisy. Yes, that doesn't work either. It turns out that it was Fitz's idea to put Simmons outside of her head using the implant. It was never the actual prime directive of the implant to forget. And she has no memory of what happened to Fitz or where he is, and she is truly actually forgotten now, as digging more into her past makes her forget even more. May and Cora square up, and I never get tired of seeing May's kung fu. It's just too cool, as May barely misses a blast, and Garrett gets through to the lighthouse and saves Cora in a really badass moment. It looked stupidly cool, as Coulson has become Daisy, Fitz and Simmons combined. Sousa hilariously drops the quaint name Roasting Daisy, which was really funny, and we see some real true spark there. I wonder if something's going on behind the scenes there. It's never cool to give yourself a nickname, but she says that the media did give her that. As the Chronicom fleet arrives above Earth, and Malik has now called in the big guns. He's gone fully murderous and insane, and they're now raining fire across every single S.H.I.E.L.D. base as the hub and many others are destroyed. If S.H.I.E.L.D. never exists, then arguably the threats don't exist. If there was no sort of Avengers initiative, then you could argue that there would actually have been no snap or anything after that. Now, Cora now has the doubt in her mind about everything, but girls love a bad boy, and they kiss there as well. So this is all a new timeline, and it's probably because the Chronicoms were actually meddling and leaving tech in the past to accelerate Hydra and the timeline. Now next week is a two-parter as the agents take the fight to the Chronicom fleet in the final 2 episodes. The team go on their last mission together. They will be, or at least they will try to reset the timeline, and I worry that the show will kind of just reset and go back to episode 1. I do worry, as finales have been a bit rubbish lately. I just wanted to connect to the rest of the MCU heavily, which I know is a long shot, and their disconnect works here as this is a new timeline. We still have no idea where Fitz actually is, as he seems to have literally disappeared. Malik went deep into her brain and it erased Fitz even more. So I do think he's still in some way part of the Chronicom fleet, but that remains to be seen. They mentioned blood work, so it could mean he's dying, but just not dead yet. So let me know what you think in the comments. Did you enjoy the episode? I want to hear all your thoughts down below. Please do drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe with notifications on so you never miss a video, and I'll see you soon, and goodbye.